What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and it's time to take a look at the recent Age Mythology Retold update. Multiplayer focused here. Before I start, just want to say big apology. My voice, throat, everything is on fire right now, and we are pushing through. So if something sounds a bit funky, you know why. So this patch, as far as I'm aware, is mainly focused on, well, it is focused on multiplayer, but it's going to be focused mostly on things like out of sync. Now, there is a little bit of a balance update at the bottom, but this one is mostly on the multiplayer experience, so to speak. So we've got a whole bunch of out of sync fixes here, which is fantastic. This is something that's really been plaguing multiplayer in a pretty negative way. So fixing that's all going to be great. Not sure about, well, this is just fixing localization, which is all your languages and stuff. Achievements, don't really know what any of that stuff is. Oh, we can now actually finish this one online. That's offline. That's nice. Let me have a little sip of tea. Okay, so most of this stuff is just going to be nice. It is, and I do think that this stuff is really, really important for multiplayer, more so than the balance. So me skipping over it is in no way denigrating how important this stuff is. It's just that, well, you guys can read it and know what it does. There's not really much to say. Game pause text now displayed in the HUD. That's nice. Resource storage is now properly refreshed. Okay. Fixed slow download speeds. No. Multiplayer skirmish lobby settings now persist. Oh, that's nice. Ranked and quick match choices now persist from the last time you queued. Not 100% sure what that means, but I guess it's whatever settings you've got when you're queuing. But okay, a new visible option has been added to the map visibility. Not sure what that means, but okay. Maybe it means map hacks for offline. Just turning all of the fog of war off, maybe. Players you recently played with now will appear in your invite to party default list. That's nice. That's actually really, really good. You really want that. Especially for people playing lobbies who are trying to find people to play with. You can easily invite people as friends and all the good stuff. Great. Multiplayer server regions are now consistently named and sorted. Oh, that's nice. Performance warnings, yada, yada, yada. God, pick a tech tree. Now correctly accounts for tech tree overrides. Cool. All right. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but cool. Spectators are now shown as a new sortable column in the browse game lobby. Wait. Not sure what that means. Does that mean people know which game that people are spectating or who's actually spectating a game at a given time? Cool. I don't actually know if that's a good or a bad thing. Where's my privacy? Okay, fixed a bug causing some players reporting options to show browse. Okay, cool. All right. Here's where things start getting cool. Pre-queue hotkeys have now been added. Yes. What this should mean is, if, say, you wanted to pre-queue an age up's default hotkey is Z. To pre-queue that, you just hit Alt and then Z. That's my guess on how that works, because that's how auto queue works. And pre-queue, as we all know, is auto queue for text. So it makes a lot of sense. Find select myth unit hotkeys entries added. All right. Katoskopos and Rock are no longer selected with the select all military hotkey. What about Pharaoh? Everyone's been complaining about the Pharaoh. All right, fixed a bug causing hotkeys assigned to the mouse wheel not working. Okay. Added a hotkey to select a hero and cycle between heroes without snapping the camera. Ooh, spicy, spicy. This will really help with micro. You should definitely throw this in if you're playing as Greek, and maybe even playing as Norse, I guess. Added an alternative hotkey for some economic buildings to allow all cultures to have the same set of hotkeys for drop sites. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Added a hotkey to show the tech tree. Oh, cool. All right, and that doesn't matter. Okay, controller and Xbox can have a little bit of help here. I've been hearing that there's actually quite a few things that could be fixed for Xbox and controller, so hopefully they keep on getting better and better, so it becomes a really good experience to play on the Xbox. I think that's important, but let's keep going on. Gameplay. All right. Fixes. Researching Secrets of the Titans. I did notice that. Good find. Wonder Age no longer causes Asgardian and Bastion to become free. If we go with this, that's hilarious. Meteor Roulette cheat has now has. I've got no idea what that cheat does, but we'll have to try that out. Omniscience tech cost is now calculated correctly when pre-queued. Okay, so we can queue that up, and just in case we get the 10,000 gold needed, we can be able to get it at the correct price. Lovely. Oh, wait, were people pre-queuing this at the start of the game, and then when they get like, and like when your opponent's only got like 20 units out, so it only costs like 2,000 gold, and then being able to get Omniscience like quite early? That's a good find. I'm glad that was fixed before anyone noticed. Okay, okay, this is big. Fixed a bug where Zeus's favor gather rate bonus and gold apples effect were incorrectly generating more favor than intended. So this is actually a big hit to Greek's favor gather rate, which I think people were unintentionally thinking was as intended. Try and unpack that sentence. But basically, the bonus was just way higher than it should have been. So fantastic. That should really hit Greeks in the spamming of myth units. So when people are like complaining about Centaurs, Minotaurs, Cyclops, any sort of myth unit spammage, they're not going to be able to do it as badly or as well anymore. Okay. Fixed a bug that caused some units to begin patrolling when ordered if they were... I'm not sure what that means, but okay. Land and naval units can now be selected. Yay! Fixed the bug allowing many Colossus to overlap when using the heal ability. Okay. Caravans will now recalculate their carried resources when tasked to perform trading on another town center. Ooh. So you can't do... maybe people were going trade to one town center and then before returning back to the market, clicking to the next town center to get extra gold. That's kind of a nice feature. That's not a bug in my opinion. That's just like... That's kind of cool, but okay, never mind. Target armor and damage bonuses. Target armor and damage bonuses no longer persist to all units affected by area persistent damage. I'm not sure what this means, but I was hearing that there was a bug associated with the Centaurs that was causing them to do much more damage than intended in certain situations. So maybe that's that being fixed. So maybe the Centaur is going to be less oppressive right now. Who knows? Okay, the Servant of Kronos. This is just campaign balance changes. Improvements to the AI balance triggers. Okay, but we've already finished Fall of the Trident. I'm not going to do it again. We will have to combat the New Atlantis new changes here, so hopefully that's fun. Okay. General. Docks. Address the following issues. Can now properly target sea snakes and water carnivores. Wonderful. Fixed a bug where docks incorrectly showed 2 projectiles in the HUD. They only shoot 1. There you go. I actually didn't know that. All right, Deathmatch getting a little bit more resources. This makes a lot of sense. Deathmatch has a lot more population, so they actually need a lot more resources to start with. And Heroic Fleet getting a bit of a cost reduction. Okay, this is probably to try and help combat myth units. I think myth units performing a little bit too well on the water, so much so that I almost try as hard as I can to not fight Classical Age just so I can get my myth units out with Fast Heroic Age or 2 Town Center Fast Heroic, anything like that. So I like that change. I probably could have actually gone down to 100 in all honesty, but whatever. Let's keep going on. Okay, so favor rate formula. Greeks now earn less favor when praying with large numbers of villagers. Okay, so 1 villager is going to be the same. 5 villagers minus 4.6% total favor. So at 4 villagers, I think you're still getting the same favor gather rate, no reduction. At 5, you're now getting a minus 4.6%. And at 25, minus 17.6%. Okay, I'm not exactly sure. Wait, these are just some examples. Okay, I don't actually understand how this works then. So it's just the favor rate formula is just different. You're going to get less favor, I guess. That's what it says right here. When you're playing with large villages, less villages, you're going to have more like standard favor, I think. So your best bet is to put more villages or less villages on the temple, but earlier, so you can get a more consistent amount of favor and not have to like spam villages onto favor when you want all of the god powers. All right, fixed a bug where it's unable to research granite upgrades. Oh, that's nice. Okay, minor gods, Dionysus. Really? Okay, so they're actually going through with some of these changes from Red Bull patch. Okay, so cavalry lifesteal increased from 20% to 30%. I believe that this technology was already good, so now it's just bonkers. This is a must-grab technology. Why is this technology bonkers, you guys ask? Well, if the Hippocon, or Hippias I should say, or Prodromus are actually attacking the unit that they counter, they get that bonus damage, they're actually getting quite a bit of lifesteal or HP back, especially the Prodromus. So getting this Prodromus and like attacking cavalry with that, it's absolutely gigantic. So I expect to see this one. I expect to see Dionysus becoming a very, very big picking god, and players probably needing to go and tech into counter cavalry to actually deal with their cavalry opponents or their Greek cavalry opponents. Aphrodite god power has been reduced. Okay, so it's a slight reduction. 50 resources off curse. I mean, it's heroic age god power. There's better heroic age god powers. Everyone's complaining about curse because it's just sucks 800 resources off the map, or 850. But if I'm completely honest, flaming weapons is better. Walking woods gives you more than 800 resources. Ancestors gives you more than 800 resources, in my opinion. There's a lot of better god powers than Aphrodite. I think this one's just kind of part of the problem is maybe that Greek is just really overtuned in like terms of stats in the units, which might be the purpose. But then they also get strong god powers on top of it, and you go, okay, well maybe we have to tune that back a little bit. Okay, so we've got centaurs here. A little bit of a reduction. Okay, 14 favor, 180 wood, 14 favor. I would like to see this go up to 200 wood, personally. Obviously, this special attack thing here, that's absolutely necessary. They were doing way too much damage against like mass priests and things like that. If you have like, if my opponent has 10 centaurs and I have 10 priests, I kind of feel like I should win that fight. But what was happening was that the centaur could basically kill the priests with their special, which is crazy. Anyways, I'm not sure if this is actually enough of a nerf against centaurs for them to not get used. Well, they should still get used, which I think is the intention. But they might still be quite strong. Though we do have favor hit, favor gather rate hit. We've got a favor increase cost here. So it's double nerf in that regard. And then also, heroes should be doing better against centaur. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, human units, archaic heroes, Jason, Ajax, and Theseus adjusted as follows. Train time decreased from 15 to 5 seconds. Wow. Bonus versus myth units increased 9 to 12. Great. Hit points reduced by 50. So they're a little bit weaker. They train much faster, though I don't think that matters that much in all honesty, because it doesn't matter. The actual weakness of Greek is that you have to build the heroes out of your town center. Out of the fortress, there's no weakness because you can put that wherever you want. But to get your heroes onto the battlefield, you have to go from the town center all the way to the battlefield, whereas other civs can build forward temples, or for what they called great halls, or even in the case of Atlanteans, they can really create their heroes on the battlefield. So this makes a little bit of sense. I like that the hit points are being reduced here. Greek does have maybe too much strength in their heroes, but it is part of their kit. So a little bit of a reduction there. Shouldn't make too much of a difference though, I think. All right. So Ra here is getting an additional bonus. Berry bushes now gathered 25% faster. This means Ra villagers gather berries as fast as huntable animals. Okay, so some testing is going to have to come down here. I think it's probably the case that we don't want to gather from our huntables in the early stages of the game anymore. Just go into berries. This will cut down on shooting time from your town center. So it's a very, very small difference, berries or hunt. It's not going to matter that much. I do think that Ra is in my honest opinion is Ra is in an okay state. Yep. That's not me being, I like to make a lot of like kind of hyperbolic YouTube titles and say a lot of things, but this is me being full serious. I think Ra's okay at the moment. I don't think Ra is an F tier god. I think Ra's probably sitting closer to A tier than anything else. This boost would probably push Ra into the A tier. Ra does require a lot of knowledge about the game to be good with, because you have to play a defensive game, and playing defensive right now in Retold is quite challenging. So you have to really know the game quite deep to be good with Ra. Know what sort of strategies your opponent can go for and how to counter them and all the other good stuff. So yeah, this is just going to give him more resources to do the things that he wants to be doing with them. So we'll see how it goes. If he's too strong, I don't think so, but he's going to be he's still going to be in a similar position, I think. If you suck with him, you're going to suck. If you're great with him, you're going to be great. All right, Isis. This god here probably needs the most nerfs, but I don't think it's actually in Isis's kit. So we see Flood of the Nile getting a little bit of cost increase. 8 favor. This will break some of the build orders which people are doing, but I actually don't think the build orders people are doing are actually 100% efficient. And they were a little bit too telegraphed as well. A lot of players were going for like 5-minute plus advances, or even 5-minute plus advances, excuse me. And grabbing this technology super early. And it sort of telegraphs their build order quite badly. I know exactly what you're doing and I can play around it. If you go for a 4:30 advance time, or a 4-minute advance time as Isis, not only do I get my Sphinx out to harass you a little bit earlier, but also now I'm questioning, are you going for a second town center? Are you going for a fast heroic? Are you going for a classical fight? All these things become questions I have to ask. And this sort of a change doesn't really affect that sort of a build. So I would expect to see Isis players starting to get a little bit more tricky with their build orders, not rushing this technology out, maybe getting that temple first and then getting the technology out as an idea. So you're losing out on maybe 60 food with this change is my guess from like the current build orders, or people are going to continue to do what they used to do. Get the technology out when they can. Yeah, we'll see. All right, Minor Gods, Tar, Electrum, Bullets. Heal rate improvement decreased. I didn't even know that's what that did. I didn't even know that gave a heal rate improvement. 50%, okay. 50%, okay. Gets 1 divine damage. Oh, I'm already seeing, okay, guys, if you're going to give slingers divine damage, there's another technology that this really, really goes well with, available to both gods that have Tar in Sekhmet, Slings of the Sun. +1 diviner damage, then plus bonus damage versus infantry. Now my slingers are disgusting. I'm a little bit worried about this tech with this change. This could be gigantic, and this does directly affect Ra. It probably also affects Set. Set can go through Tar, but Anubis has been, well, we do see an Anubis nerf here, but yeah, I'm expecting to see people grabbing this tech and going into those slingers. So if you do notice people going for this, make sure you don't go infantry into the slingers and go for cavalry. It's going to be really, really important. All right, so we also see it's also been increased in cost to make up for how big of a boost this actually is. All right, Anubis Plague of Serpents, hit points reduced, hack damage decreased, chase distance decreased. So they're just trying to, oh, this is sea snakes. Okay, no worries. This doesn't really change anything. I don't think. I think sea snakes are still going to be really strong. Yes, you can kill them off much quicker, but they're still going to be really strong at blocking a choke point on a map like Highland or Anatolia. And yeah, I think you still want to be using them if you can. You can also use sea snakes on the land on Highland as a better version of this if they're going to make the serpents be different costed, but nonetheless. Locus Swarm now wider, making possible damage more units. So a slight buff for Locus Swarm. That's actually starting to think that this god power is looking good. Like I was seeing some Ra players actually winning fights because of this god power. And the way that I think about Locus Swarm now is it's giving you roughly your opponent's army, roughly like minus 20% to 30% HP on every single unit. So if they've got a full population army and you just swipe that with Locus Swarm in a big fight, that's enough to actually win the fight, in my opinion. So it's a fight winning god power, which makes it actually really, really good in the heroic age. But people want a god power, a heroic age god power they can use straight away to give them that boost. This isn't that god power. This god power is for a little bit later in the game, I think. Okay. Pitsukos buffs, Scarab buffs. Great. Fantastic. Monuments of Soldiers cost reduction. Cost increase, I should say. That hurts a little bit. 50 resources. Egyptian already kind of struggles for resources a little bit, but I don't think this is going to matter much. You're still going to need to build the monument to the soldiers, but a 50 cost reduction hit, or 50 cost increase, I should say, is going to slow us down a little bit when playing for double monument openings. If you're going to build this a little bit later, you're not going to feel it. But if you're going for like two or three monument openings, yeah, this is gonna hurt just a little bit. All right, here's some buffs or some nerfs I really wanted to see. A little bit of a cost increase on the Berserk. Now you're paying 50 resources for a Villager to a Berserk, 40 resources for a Dwarf to a Berserk. Much needed. Well, I don't need to say much about this. This was creating some pretty negative experiences in game for me personally, and also in an attempt to abuse this, I didn't actually get my abusive game out. I almost did. We almost found a win with it, but especially with Loki. But yeah, this is gonna make things nice. All right, Great Hunt reduced from 800 to 600. Wow. Okay, they're actually hitting Great Hunt, and the Raven line of sight reduced from 20 to 10, but now gains +4 line of sight per age up. I just want to say it's funny. This is just funny. If you don't know why this is funny, go look at the Voobly Balance Patch 6.0 changelog. All right. From Legacy. Convert Villager Dwarf to Berserk is no longer free. Instead costs 50%. Okay, so it's going to be, what, 25 and 20 resources, respectively, for Villagers and Dwarves. Okay. Loki is still going to be pretty oppressive with this, I think. I don't think this really fixes the problem. But you're not going to be able to go for stupid. Well, you probably could go for stupid all in still. At that cost, you probably could. Okay, Fury of the Fallen technology now affects units with a VFX. Cool. Okay, starting wood increased 200 to 250. This is gigantic for Atlanteans. Atlanteans, I don't even think they were struggling. Now they just get this buff in the early game. This should allow Atlanteans to get a really, really easy 330 if they want, or a 355 with a technology. Especially Gaia right now, who has now got a -35% to -40%. This is huge. This also, I think, buffs that Soup Chronos Rush, where I think he deletes an Oracle. Could be wrong about that. He deletes an Oracle and goes for like a 3-minute advance. He's going to be able to get that even faster now. Okay, Economic Guild. Gaia now also reduces the buildings cost by -40% as well. Wow. Okay, so Gaia might be able to do a 355 with hand axe and pickaxe before advancing, which could be gigantic. Okay, and a little bit of a boost to the Lush. This is something you're going to have to start using those economic guilds to move around the map and be good with. Because that's actually, I'm yet to see anyone getting that technology channels. I do think it's good, but I'm yet to see anyone getting it, especially in the late game. But anyways. Oceanus Carnivora God Power. The water Carnivora has been adjusted as follows. Hack damage increased. Really? Was this God Power not good? I thought this God Power was great. Okay, fantastic. God Power I thought was good is now even better. Love it. Prometheus Alluvial Clay Technology. Promethean and Promethean Offspring hit points improvement decreased by 30% plus 20%. Okay. That's just a nerf, right? Poseidon Secret now also reduces the cost of heroizing cavalry. Wow. This tech was already busted. It's not that it's much more busted now, but it was already busted. So you're boosting a tech that's already good. And also Hesperus Tree giving 2 Dryads each time it casts. No, first 2 casts are free. So you get 4 Dryads for free, which will equal roughly 600 resources. Plus you then get Dryads out. Now Dryads, in my estimate, are roughly worth a automaton in terms of stats. So they're not, they're not a unit I would produce unless I absolutely need to, or I'm at full population. So yeah, these units here, they're quite good to boost you above the population limit, but it's not a unit you build until the very end. But getting those 2 Dryads out will help you defend a whole bunch of stuff. That's nice. Okay, Hyperion Heronic Renewal. Now it gives plus 10% hit points to heroes. I guess people weren't getting this tech. It's definitely very good. Definitely worth grabbing. Going to be even more worth grabbing. Chaos. What? Cost increase from 50 to 60. What does that mean? Is this now 60, then 65, 70? Is it still only going up by 5 or 10 or whatever it is? Man, it's such a cheap god power for how good it is. Now, reducing it to 180 does give you a lot more counterplay time, but man, this god power is good. I'm surprised to see that light of an approach here, to be honest. This was really, really strong. Okay, Spider-Lair gets a little bit of a helping hand for Leto. Leto might see some more play here. Spider-Lair is a pretty good god power. It kills potentially 3 units if you can use it correctly, which in the early game can be really, really strong. Plus, you get multiple of them. They're really, really cheap. Okay, Atlas, Implode. Units now sucked in faster. Beautiful. This god power was feeling underwhelming. People could just run away from it. And you don't want that. If I click the Implode directly on top of your army, I kind of expect to kill the vast majority or suck the vast majority of those units in. All right, Promethean is now a cost increase. Okay. I'm surprised to see that. Prometheans probably were doing pretty well, but I don't think they were doing amazingly. Okay, Lampedes are now doing divine damage. Okay. I'm going Hecate all the time now and just making Lampedes. These things are going to be disgusting. I'm not sure what their DPS is, because I think they don't have a one attack rate or 1 rate of fire. So it's not exactly 20 DPS in divine damage, but this unit's going to be hidden like a truck. And now we see all the heroes getting more damage against myth units. I didn't actually think this was at all an issue for Atlanteans, but now they're going to be able to deal with myth units even easier, which does kind of restrict your strategies against Atlanteans a little bit, but we'll see how much of an effect this actually has. All right, buildings, economic guild, cost decrease from 80 to 15, 50 to... Wow, okay. They actually went with this change. So they really want you to drop that economic guild in the archaic age. I think that's what that means. Because it's only a 30 wood decrease. 30 wood, 9 gold for Gaia. Yuck. Gaia now S tier. Gaia now S tier, unironically. Gaia's S tier. Guys. Okay, mana. Okay, this is good. This should have been 800 from the start. The mana costs double the resources, yet it has 100 more HP than a normal house. Didn't make any sense. Okay, modding. UI mods are now treated safe. Wonderful. Love that. All right, fantastic. And I think that's everything. Great, guys. I mean, my basic impressions here is it's a pretty bare bones patch. There's a lot of stuff in here, but I don't think it really changes a whole lot. There's some really bonkers stuff to try out, like Electrum bullets. What else? Like Gaia's going to be fun to try out. Thea's going to be fun to try out a little bit more so. Hecate with the Lampedes to try out. Definitely Atlantean's going to be seeing a lot more play here with this economic guild thing being cheaper. So yeah, this is going to be fun for the Atlanteans. Ra's going to be interesting. We'll see if that has any difference. Not really any significant nerfs to Greeks, so I think they're still going to be sitting at the top, even with the favor reduction rates. They might just win a little bit less hard. And I think that's kind of the idea. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, again, apologies for the croaky voice. My name's Boit, and I'll see you guys in the next game.